Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the Metropolitan Action Commission, and we're fortunate to have with us to talk about the Metropolitan Action Commission the Executive Director of the Commission, Mr. Walter Hunt. And of course, Mr. Hunt, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you, Dr. Haney. I'm so pleased to be back to chat with you again.
You know, I think it's a good time, Mr. Hunt, to talk about the Metropolitan Action Commission. I know that folks are familiar with it as an organization, but I hope this morning that we can give them some information relative to what you're involved in. But before we do that, let's talk about Walter Hunt. Let's have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in terms of eventually leading you to the executive directorship of the Metropolitan Action Commission, after which we'll talk about the commission and some of the other things that you believe to be important. Let's start off there.
I'd be happy to. You know, I've had a career that has been just glorious. I started out at the as a paratrooper with the 101st Airborne Division right out of high school, and after that, of course, I came and matriculated at Tennessee State University, where I first met you, by the way. After graduating TSU, I was fortunate enough to get a job with a congressman, and I spent 10 years in Congress working on various community issues, which was a very, very learning experience, a good learning experience. And following that, I came back from Congress and I worked in the mayor's office for an opportunity for a short time. And from there on into the directorship of the Metropolitan Action Commission. But let me say that during my tenure in Congress was the eye-opening about the community needs and what category of people who really need the services. We find that in every city, in every state, there are the underemployed, the undereducated, and they need assistance. It's not that there are just people who are down and out. These are great people who just need some assistance, get pointed in the right direction. And that was the experience that I got in the period that I was working in Congress.
These are the so-called working poor.
Working poor, exactly, exactly. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, how we handle that. But after coming back from Congress, then I was able to work in the mayor's office. There and again, I had an opportunity to work in the community, to look at the community needs, to look at job, affordable housings, and employment opportunities and things of that nature. From there, I went down to the Metropolitan Action Commission and became director there. It didn't take me long to see that that same need was there in the Nashville community, and that agency deals with those unemployed, uneducated individuals directly. When I first took over as director of the Metropolitan Action Commission, we had 478 students in the Head Start program. We were able to increase that number to about 1,200. I have about 264 employees, and my role now is still trying to find out how best to help these people that need the services.
You know, I think, Mr. Hunt, in terms of the Metropolitan Action Commission itself, I think what would be quite instructive in terms of the number of people that you serve is to give us some idea about that commission. I know that Head Start and other programs that you've talked about on a number of occasions, I know that all of these are programs that came out of the 60s. But what about the commission? I mean, where do you put that in terms of its social responsibilities?
Its responsibility of that commission is to look at the needs of the community, to create programs to meet those needs. And you're right, the program started in 1964 under President Johnson's administration to take a look at how we could eradicate poverty. Poverty has been with us since the beginning of time, but we have made some great gains in trying to help people out of poverty. The agency in itself is a safety net. It's not so much a welfare agency because we don't give people stipends on a monthly basis. we look at a program that an individual may want to participate in, and we will give them that assistance at that particular time, and that person cannot use that program again for a 12-month period.
So it is a real assistance program. I mean, there's nothing permanent about the aid that you render.
There's nothing permanent about it, and then we have various programs, but an individual can come in and use each program at least once the program year. This allows us to provide the service across the community rather than giving one family or one individual all of the services. But the most amazing thing about that